watching the Big 12 on ESPN+. The winter storm that blanketed much of the country last weekend has brought freezing temperatures to Orlando, making it a great night to be inside Edition Financial Arena as UCF gets set to take on Arizona State. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Orlando. Austin Lyon, BJ Taylor, thank you so much for joining us. Both of these teams coming off wins Saturday, and tonight we've got a matchup between two of the top point guards in the conference, starting with Mo Odom for Arizona State.
Yeah, Odom is one of the more electric guards in the Big 12. If you have not seen the senior from Bronx, New York play this season, he can get it going in a very high way. 33 points in their last game out against the Cincinnati Bearcats. That is the reason Arizona State came out on top in that matchup. And on the other side, Themis Folks continues to be one of the premier point guards in the Big 12. When you talk about the balance of scoring and setting up your teammates, there really aren't many guys that do it better than Themis Folks. He lives in the paint, he attacks the rim, he's a terrific finisher with either hand around the cup.
Folks second in the conference in assists per game at 7.3. Just the second ever meeting between these teams and first here in Orlando. John Bull and Masamba Diop. And Arizona State controls the tip. Sun Devils 11-9 overall. They got their second conference win on Saturday, beating Cincinnati 82-68. There's Diop. He is given the three, and it's off the front rim, pulled down by John Bull. Michael Stillwell bullying his way inside. Bull mishandles the pass. There is Folks, harassed by Odom. Shot clock down to 5. Bull goes to the floor to save it. Folks finds Burks up top for 3. What a wild possession that was, and an offensive rebound for Stillwell. He'll tee it up from the corner and connect.
Strong defensive possession to start the game for Arizona State, but you gotta finish it with the board. You can't give this Knights team second opportunities.
And JaMychal Stillwell, one of the elite offensive rebounders, not just in the conference, but in the country. Odom works off a screen. His three is well short. It was not touched by a UCF defender, out of bounds to the Knights.
Yes, sir. He's a tough shot taker, tough shot maker. He is going to get some of those up. Bobby Hurley's going to live with some of those.
There's UCF head coach Johnny Dawkins, now in his 10th year. His team off to its best start in his tenure through 19 games. Chance to get to 16-4 tonight, and he is approaching a 200-win mark. Stillwell with an errant pass was taken away by Diop. Odom in transition. This Arizona State team thrives on the break. Around and out for Santiago Truitt. Folks hesitation and the spin. What a finish by Themis Folks.
So good in transition. If you don't stop the basketball against Themis Folks, he is going to get into your painted area and either find a play for his teammate or create a finish for himself at the basket.
Coming off a game against Colorado in which he scored 19 points with 8 assists. He has been on a tear as of late. Bryce Ford creates space, and the step back rattles home.
That's a welcome sight if you're Arizona State. Like, this is a group that can be heavily reliant on Odom to do the majority of their scoring. The others have got to come along with him tonight.
Riley Kugel puts it on the deck. Bounce pass, Bull. Good finish.
Paint, and more paint for UCF. The dribble drive penetration of a guy like Folks or JaMychal Stillwell on the post are the two things this Arizona State defense has really got a key on tonight.
Ford just inside the three-point line. Diop the last to touch it, out of bounds to UCF. Ford, a guy who missed time with a hip injury. Arizona State, a much more dynamic offensive team when he's on the floor.
This is what I'm talking about, right, Austin? His ability to get 2 feet into the painted area, it just creates a chain reaction of offense for the Knights.
Off the press, the kick out, Kugel. Folks working on Gribovich. Stillwell, big size mismatch. Shovels it to Bull, who hammers it down.
One of the underrated parts of Stillwell's game is his ability to pass right there. The double team from Gribovich and Truitt. Mo Odom on the backside's got to rotate down on John Bull, take away the big fella at the rim.
3 assists on 4 field goals for UCF. Truitt on the baseline, spins on Stillwell. This little head and shoulders fake. Couldn't get the shot to go. Knights on the run. Folks, how about that body control? Couldn't get the shot to go.
A Euro step. Oh man, that would have been an incredible finish.
Truitt, little push off there of Stillwell. High degree of difficulty on the bucket for the Argentinian.
Yeah, well, no lack of size and length for the big fella, right? At 6'11", if he can become a better finisher around the cup, it'll really make him a much more effective offensive player.
Kugel going to work on Truitt. Answers with the long jumper.
And he's been feeling really good as of late. 22 points on the road in that win against Colorado, 6 of 8 from the three-point line. Riley Kugel's been playing some of his best basketball here in late January.
Scoring, rebounding, and assists. Conference play for Kugel than they were in non-conference. Ford quiets the crowd with a triple.
Yeah, go under that ball screen on Bryce Ford. He says, I'll take my look if I like it. I like the confidence from the young fella.
Folks, fade away on the baseline. Jock pulls it down. Arizona State, one of the top transition offensive teams in the country. They want to get out and run and score early in the shot clock. There's Jock, the 7'1" freshman, showing his touch.
And that's what I was going to say. That's a matchup that Arizona State and Bobby Hurley's going to look to attack tonight. Anytime Masamba Jock's being defended by any of the UCF bigs, one-on-one, he's going to look to be aggressive.
Last touched by Arizona State. That takes us to a timeout. Riley Kugel, UCF's leading scorer, a little yo-yo dribble and a jumper. Good start offensively for the Knights. UCF's hit 5 of 8 from the field in the opening 5 minutes. They lead Arizona State by 2 as we check in for the first time with Ansley Topchick.
Austin, both of these head coaches quite familiar with each other, and not just through the coaching world, but through Duke basketball. During their time as players, both standouts, missing each other just by 3 years. And before the game, I had a chance to talk to Coach Hurley, who told me what he learned from Duke basketball is that relationships matter and that competitive drive is everything. Back to you guys.
All right, Ansley, Johnny Dawkins set the tone for Duke basketball, set a precedent that others have followed. And I asked Bobby Hurley at shoot-around today to share a memory, and he said we used to work out together when I was there in the summer, and Johnny dominated me.
Yeah.
Bobby Hurley said he grew up a North Carolina fan and always wanted to go to North Carolina. He went to watch Duke play against Navy when they had David Robinson at the Meadowlands in Jersey, and he said Johnny Dawkins had an incredible reverse dunk. Duke won that game, eventually went to the Final Four that year, and that was a big part of the reason why he ultimately started following Duke and chose to go play for the Blue Devils.
No question. I mean, and also, how many times do you call a game where you have two guys that can say, I'm not sure if there would be a Mike Krzyzewski, there would be a Coach K without either of these 2 point guards. I mean, Bobby Hurley is considered and regarded by many people as the greatest point guard of all time in college basketball, and I think all of us know, what Johnny Dawkins represents to the Duke program. So it's an incredible couple of players, and now doing their thing as coaches.
Hurley, most outstanding player at the Final Four in 1992 when Duke won a national title. Johnny Dawkins was the National Player of the Year in 1986. And they are 2 of 11 Duke players that have their jersey hanging in the rafters of Cameron Indoor Stadium.
So we've got about 18% of the Duke legends in the building.
That's right. Missed 3 by Stillwell, and a loose ball foul committed by Burks. Now, Johnny Dawkins was, as always, very humble when I asked him about those summer workouts. He said, it was just part of our Duke tradition. We wanted to help guys get better. And I said, Coach, you don't have to be humble. Coach Hurley told me that you dominated. Well, look, you said it, not me.
Yeah. Humility is a staple of Johnny Dawkins' character and who he is. So you expect nothing more, nothing less for him to take the high road. But his reverse slams used to be something to see, I'm telling you. Go online and YouTube, Coach Dawkins' reverse jam against UNC. It'll be the best thing to see all day.
Anthony Pig Johnson with a rainmaker of a 3. Just came in off the Arizona State bench, and he is electric off the bench. Second leading scorer at 13.7 points per game.
True spark plug off the bench for Bobby Hurley. I mean, 14 points per game. A guy's going to come in and be very aggressive in taking his looks.
Kugel rises up on the baseline. That ends an 8-0 Arizona State run.
Just a poise and a confidence with Kugel when he has the basketball in his hands. He went through a stretch there in mid-December where he kind of lost it a little while. But again, since conference play has started, he has just felt really good about his shot.
Odom short with the 3. Noah Mayusin, the offensive rebound. Mayusin is another guy who's a big contributor off the Arizona State bench. And it leads to a second chance point as Jop hits the jumper.
I mean, you talk about post prospects on the floor tonight. Masamba Jop, he's got to be one of the guys at the top of the list. Maybe not this season, but as he continues to get bigger and stronger and develops into an all-around big, this is a guy at 7'1" that can really be an NBA prospect.
Devin Cambridge short on the 3. And Chris Johnson whistled for the foul. Yeah, Jop, 7'1" freshman from Senegal. And you and I, over the course of the years, have seen a lot of young, big centers from West Africa, talented guys. But I don't know that I've ever seen a more fluid-looking athlete at this stage in his career than John.
Yeah, he's a 7'1" center, but he almost plays like a forward, right? He can still get on the offensive glass. He can still get on the boards. He can still do the things that a big does. But in terms of his shooting, in terms of his coordination and control of his body, that is what really impresses me about Jop. Big guys like that usually have to feel themselves out. Not him. He has a great feel for what he wants to do at 7'1".
Averaging almost 14 points and 6 rebounds per game. He heads to the bench. Mayusin bounces it to Truitt. Isaiah Pacheco guards him. Bol comes over to help. Mayusin rises up. That 3 no good. Good defensive possession for UCF.
Johnson's going to be aggressive if he gets a peek.
Folks bounces it to Cambridge. A hard foul committed by Alan Mukeba. That'll take us to a timeout. 11:41 remaining in the first half. UCF has cooled off Arizona State with a 1-point lead.
Allow yourself to tune out. tune into nature, to tune in to the outdoors, to tune in to what matters. Discover Lake County, Florida. Learn more at discoverlakefl.com.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Orlando is growing fast. To stand out here, you need bold ideas, local power, and a team that represents this city. From corporate partnerships to donor opportunities and direct athlete collaborations, we'll help you build a sponsorship game plan that drives impact. UCF Athletics in your business. Let's charge on together.
No nights off in the Big 12. Every matchup is personal. Every game is a battle. And everyone is coming for your spot. Bring that pressure right to the paint. Game on the line. Clock winding down. Fans on their feet. 30 years strong, and now we shine so bright they can't help but watch. This is where every month feels like March. This is Big 12 men's basketball. This is a different league.
Have you ever wondered if there was a place where access to excellence isn't guarded by ivy, but open to all who strive for greatness? Where education leads to more than a degree, it opens a door to a career and a better life. Where imagination ignites invention and innovation, and the boundaries between science and creativity converge. That place is here, the University of Central Florida, a place for those who dare to.
Arizona undefeated in the conference, undefeated overall. They stay that way after a thrilling win over BYU last night in Provo. Texas Tech and Houston so far with one conference loss. UCF sitting in the top half of the league right now at 4-3. Arizona State, you can see, tied for 9th at 2-5. We referenced at the top of the broadcast two of the elite point guards, not just in the league, but in the entire country. Themis Folks and Mo Odom, 2nd and 3rd respectively on the active career assist list.
I mean, absolutely exceptional. I mean, I know one thing. It's a lot of happy teammates. All right, a lot of guys that played with these two are very, very happy, and they wouldn't have put up the numbers that they have without Mo Odom and Themis Folks. But to be on a list with a guy like Braden Smith and Donovan Dent, one of the best point guards out in the Big Ten right now, and then Braden Smith is going to go down as arguably the best point guard in Purdue basketball history, approaching nearly 1,000 dimes. That's a good list to be on.
And although each of those guys are exceptional passers,
yes,
they're not pass-first point guards.
It's a balance, yeah, Austin. Yeah, they're not out here, going for 9 and 10, or Themis averages 15 points per game. Mo Odom had 30 in his last ball game out and leads Arizona State in scoring. So you're absolutely right. These aren't guys that are just looking to set up their teammates. They balance scoring and playmaking really well.
Carmelo Pacheco, quick release on the wing. It's short. Big Johnson pulls it down for Arizona State.
Early on, UCF was able to get out in transition and run a little bit, turn this into a bit of a track meet. Right now, you're seeing Arizona State them able to battle back into this one, tie ball game, and have kind of slowed this tempo down a touch.
UCF has made just one of its last 7 shots. Johnson way off on that 3. He made his first triple, hasn't come close on the next 2. Kugel all the way, and he delivers a poster of a dunk. Oh, the acceleration and the leaping ability of Riley Kugel.
We're going to have to get a second look at that one, Austin. Golly.
Folks is fouled by Gribovich.
You talk about up, and away. Riley Kugel, on the face of Noah Meusen. This is just nasty. A little step-up ball screen, and gotta make a play at the rim if you're gonna stand there. Oh my goodness. You know they call UCF Space U. Well, this was like a rocket taking off.
Ooh, Riley Kugel. Whew. Made all 3 of his shots so far. That might be one of the most memorable buckets of his college career right there.
It kind of caught you off guard, didn't it? You didn't see it coming when he took off, right?
You know, it looked like he wanted to pass,
right,
and then saw the lane open up a little bit. But not, you know, oftentimes when you see
it coming,
a dunker put someone on a poster, it's not one that comes out of nowhere.
Oh man.
2 free throws for Folks. UCF has scored the last 5 to regain the lead. Odom, quick release. His 3 is short. Great job saving it on the baseline. Ford puts it on the deck. Runner pops out.
Every time Folks has the basketball, Austin, it's just attack, get in the paint, and make a play.
Sets up Pacheco that time. Won't see him miss many open threes.
If you're an Arizona State fan, the guy to watch is #1 for UCF. The Arizona State defense has got to close driving lanes. They got to make it very, very difficult for him to get in the paint, because if they don't, he's just going to wreak a lot of havoc.
Odom is doubled. Passes out of it to Truitt. Kugel shuts off Ford on the baseline. Out of bounds. Arizona State has it with 3.4 seconds on the shot clock.
A little over dribbling right there from Bryce Ford. Look for Mo Odom to swing around and try to get a quick shot off here with only 3 on the shot clock.
Arizona State more than 3.5 minutes without a point. Bounce pass, Mayusin off balance as he let that one go, and an opportunity in transition for UCF.
I thought that could have been a foul right there.
Good recovery by the Sun Devils.
I thought Mayusin had a lot of contact on that finish, Austin.
Folks gets to the 10 and lays it in. Yeah, maybe just a subtle push from behind there by Kugel.
And, you know, on the road, you need all those plays to go your way, man. You know, this Arizona State team doesn't have a high margin of error. So little plays like that, I mean, they go a long way when you're on the road.
Mayusin open 3. That pops out, and a foul against UCF on the rebounding action will keep it here.
And again, it all starts with the penetration from Folks, and then here, once again, look, he gets the ball attacked, 2 feet in the paint. He got 2 paint touches on 1 possession already. Right back to Folks, and look, downhill, attack, almost gets a foot in the paint. Instead, 1 foot outside the paint, lays it up off the glass. I mean, the underrated part of what he's able to do, Austin, is his conditioning. To play with that level of energy and burst and speed each and every possession takes a high level of stamina, play after play.
And he's proven to be as durable as any player in the country. He's made 122 straight starts. Hasn't missed a game in 3+ seasons.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, he's not the biggest guy in the world. I mean, you know, he's only about 6'1", 170 on a good day, but he's just tough as nails.
Ball follows up the missed layup, but they will say basket interference. They'll wipe away the John Ball bucket.
And some Kears, this ball has to come off the rim before John Ball gets on it. From that angle, it's hard to tell. This is one Folks usually finishes, even with a guy like Masamba Diop underneath. This will tell us Ball, you can't tell if it's over the cylinder or how, Austin. It was off the rim for sure. The only question is, was it still over the cylinder?
But Jeffrey Anderson was decisive in his call, though he had a similar angle to that camera shot we just showed you.
And you know what's, Austin? In Jeffrey, we trust, all right?
Jeffrey Anderson, one of the fan favorites.
No question.
In terms of officials around the country. Johnson has to let it go. Arizona State retreating after that shot went up, so an easy rebound for Burks.
It's a good matchup for Stillwell. Got to look to give him the ball, being defended by Pick Johnson. Oh.
Little push off. Jumper, no. And a foul against UCF. 7:25 remaining here in the first half. Starting to settle in. Two great offensive teams playing good defense right now. Look inside the launch of the 2026 Big 12 softball season. Join host Spencer Linton alongside two of the game's premier voices, Olympic legend Kat Osterman and Oklahoma State Gate Rachel Becker for Big 12 softball media days. That's Wednesday and Thursday, January 28th and 29th. Coverage runs live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern exclusively on ESPN Plus, delivering access, insight, and perspective as we set the stage for the season ahead. And we will do that as well. Coming up at halftime, UCF coach Cindy Ball-Malone will join us to preview the 2026 season as she attempts to guide the Knights to their 6th consecutive NCAA tournament appearance. It's been a terrific run in Orlando, Coach Ball-Malone.
Anytime you can put together that string of NCAA tournament appearances, it's exceptional coaching. It means you're recruiting some good players and you're doing something right.
Yep. Odom working off a screen from Mukeba. Terrific pass by Mo Odom. 2-point game. Oh! Hesitation. He's cleared for takeoff. Chris Johnson then steals it, but is unable to finish. A couple of highlight reel dunks. First it was Kugel and then Jordan Burks.
I'm telling you, Austin, I mean, we've seen two in the first half. Oof.
Deep three from Mo Odom. And he is starting to heat up. Missed his first 3 shots, but he's hit his last 2, including that one from deep.
Yeah, and you let this guy go, and he can win you a ball game if you're Arizona State. He did it at Cincy. We're going to have a foul underneath against Mo Odom, but he's a guy. He'll start making shots from 25, 27 feet with regularity when he starts feeling it.
BJ, you referenced 6 of 11 from deep Saturday in that win against Cincinnati. And he's gone for 20-plus in 3 of the last 5 games.
When he starts to feel it, I mean, he can get it going with regularity. You see right in the middle of your screen there, just hooking arms with Jordan Burke. only 3 fouls, though, in the first half for Arizona State, so no player in any foul trouble for the Sun Devils.
Important for a team that doesn't have a ton of depth.
Yeah.
Big Johnson came and took it away from Stillwell, got hurt in the process.
Oh!
Mukeba at the other end! My goodness! A one-handed tomahawk from Alan Mukeba.
What is going on tonight, Austin? Did they put a trampoline underneath the hardwood? I mean, you talk about going up high. Another big-time slam, this time for an and one from Alan Mukeba over Devin Cambridge. One of the best athletes on the floor. Goodness gracious.
A foul to boot, so a chance for a three-point play.
Have you ever taken your kids to that amusement place that's just the trampolines and they can bounce around everywhere?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've seen here in the first half. It's like Bounce World.
They are treating these fans to quite the display of athleticism. Johnson the last to touch that as Arizona State jumped into a press. Mukeba only 10 total points in the last 4 games. See if that ignites him here in this first half.
I guess UCF's got to take advantage of these switches. Right now, Arizona State's switching 1 through 4. That means Stillwell can be defended by a smaller player.
Cambridge has Odom on him.
Yeah.
Odom, quick hands, forces the turnover.
Yeah, so they got the Stillwell switch with Odom, but then as he rolled underneath the basket, they were able to switch Jop onto him. I'd like to see Stillwell get the switch, stay out on the perimeter. That way he's still defended by Odom and then use his body to back him down into the paint. But if he gets a switch and rolls right into the big, they're going to switch off. I know that was a lot.
No, we followed it all. Followed it all. You depth explanation there.
That was a telestrator kind of breakdown. My bad.
Arizona State has scored the last 6. These teams have gone back and forth in this first half. Odom, another deep 3, and he connects again. Second 3 for Mo Odom. And timeout, UCF. A 9-0 run by Arizona State has pushed them to a 5-point lead.
He can do it. He said he can. Little dribble handoff right here. UCF isn't up on the switch. He's gonna light you up. Mo Odom, one of the most explosive scorers in this league. I mean, that's a 27-footer right there, Austin. He can do it.
Ansley's got more on Arizona State's leading scorer.
Well, we saw him heating up, and I have a little insight on his pregame tradition, which includes a stop at Chick-fil-A, specifically for a milkshake. He said he's a loyal customer and even uses it as motivation for his teammates. Mo joked and said that if he sees a guy not playing as hard, he'll bribe them with Chick-fil-A, and I asked, how well does it work? He said it works pretty well. In their most recent game against Cincinnati, Chick-fil-A nuggets became the reward for Masamba's 10th rebound. So BJ, when you were on the court, did anyone ever bribe you with food?
No, they didn't, but I wish I would have played with this guy, all right? Because I love me some Chick-fil-A, and I would have given everything I had out there on the floor with a guy like Mo Odom if I knew the reward was a #1 with cheese, all right? A Chick-fil-A sandwich with cheese, all right, a medium fry. I'd have given Mo Odom everything that I could give. Left it all on the floor.
Chick-fil-A milkshakes definitely hit the spot.
Oh, man.
Chris Johnson attacking that Arizona State pressure, gets the shot to go. That ends a 9-0 run. Arizona State's hit their last 4 shots. Quick hands by Stillwell, took it away from Jop. Stillwell patient in the lane, and he's called for an offensive foul.
Don't usually see that one too often. Austin, you know, you see Johnny Dawkins is just really perplexed, confused, baffled, to say the least, by that call. It's gonna say he put that elbow up around the head area, but I didn't see a lot there.
Well, there was contact both ways there.
You were expecting a block. right?
Yeah, the whistle against Stillwell. Wide open Stillwell. Unable to hit the three. Jop with those long arms snares it.
Right now, Themis Fuchs drawing the matchup of Mo Odom. It's not so much the on-ball defender, it's these ball screens and switches. The Knights have got to switch up to prevent the Odom triple.
Jop free throw line jumper around and out. Big Johnson right there to clean it up.
And that's great action from Arizona State. They're going to get what they want offensively if they put Mo Odom and Masamba Jop in ball screens. That's going to be really hard for UCF to defend.
Burks puts it on the deck. We've seen a thunderous dunk. This time, nice touch. He was looking for a foul call there as well.
Then he got that 1-5 ball screen between Jop and Odom.
Stillwell poked it away. No one back, and Stillwell hammers it through. Timeout, Arizona State. Well, everybody on the floor tonight has been cleared by mission control for takeoff. Jordan Burks for UCF, and then Alan Mukeba for Arizona State. Sun Devils by 1 here in Orlando. Arizona State by 1 here in Orlando. UCF's women's basketball team back in action this weekend with a trip to Ames to take on Iowa State. That one tips at 3 o'clock on ESPN+. UCF's women's team right now 10-10, 500 on the season, looking for a late surge in Big 12 play.
And Iowa State's women's group, a team that started off the season undefeated and then hit a slide, Austin, actually once conference play began, but still one of the best players in the Big 12, and Artie Crooks. If you haven't seen her play, she's an absolutely exceptional post player for the Iowa State Cyclones.
Crooks, one of the best players in the country. A tough challenge for UCF. Ford on the wing. Pacheco guards him. A hook to get into the lane. Big Johnson bangs in a three. Fifth three of the first half for Arizona State. The second for Johnson.
This Arizona State team is playing with a lot of confidence, Austin. They picked it up against Cincinnati over the weekend. They found a belief, and you see it carrying over here again tonight.
That performance against Cincinnati came on the heels of some post-game comments from Bobby Hurley that drew attention from a lot of the basketball world around the country. Said he felt like he wasn't getting through to his team. They weren't listening. He painted a grim picture of the state of Arizona State basketball in his post-game press conference after a recent loss. And his guys have responded to that. Played really well against Cincinnati on Saturday, and they've showed up with a lot of fight here in the first half tonight.
Yeah, a double-digit victory over Cincinnati, a team that's won some games in the Big 12, and then you watch teams play, right, Austin? You know, sometimes teams that don't have great records, you can tell. The spirit isn't there, the belief isn't there, they're going through the motions. That's not what you see from this Arizona State team. This is a team that is playing like, look, we got off to a bad start in conference play, that's a fact. But we still have a lot of opportunities left in this season to turn this thing around and build some momentum going into February, because the spirit we've seen from Pig Johnson, the plays we've seen from Mukeba, these guys that have come off the bench and supported Odom and Jop, they are playing like they have something to prove.
Loose ball foul against Stillwell puts Arizona State at the line. Andrija Grubovic hits the first of a 1-and-1. A challenging schedule so far in the Big 12 for Arizona State. They play BYU, Arizona, and Houston.
All teams that could be Elite Eight teams. I mean, Arizona's most people's favorite to win the national title. Houston is a team that a lot of people have in the Final Four, and BYU just has the #1 pick potentially in the NBA draft, so it's been a tough schedule to say the least.
Burks attacking, he is fouled. Arizona State played Arizona on the road to a 6-point game, and it was a 1-possession game in the final minute. They'll play Arizona again on Saturday, and then games against Utah and Colorado, teams that right now are at the bottom of the league. There are no easy games in the Big 12, and those games are going to be on the road. But if Arizona State can win tonight, a chance to build some momentum toward the second half of the conference schedule.
Absolutely. No game is easy in the Big 12, but you're 100% right. Some games are tougher than others, all right? You know, you're going on the road at #1 Arizona. You're going on the road at #7 Houston. Those are games that, you know, hardly anybody are going to win. I mean, those teams are going to drop maybe one game at home this season at most. So you look at that Arizona State, they've been through the gauntlet already early this season in conference play. And like you said, with the level maybe dropping just a touch from playing some of the best teams in the country, they have a chance to put together some wins.
2 free throws by Burks gets it back to a 3-point game. Riley Kugel whistled for a backcourt foul as he was harassing Odom. And Arizona State will march back to the line.
Full court pressure right here. And he throws that body into Mo Odom. You know, the home crowd isn't going to like it, but it's a good whistle, okay? It's a good whistle. And now you're putting an 83% free throw shooter at the line, and Mo Odom, when you're already in the bonus, that's where the discernment as a player comes into play, Austin, right? If your group's not in the bonus, maybe you can be a little bit more aggressive in the backcourt, because at worst, side out of bounds, we set up our defense. But when the team's already in the bonus, you really don't want to even give the official a chance to make that kind of call.
Arizona State, it's 2 free throws on back-to-back possessions. First it was Grubovic, there Odom. And so the Sun Devils extend the lead back to 5, coming up on 2 minutes to go in the first half. Folks hit from behind by Johnson.
One of the best things we've seen from Arizona State tonight is the defensive intensity has been better. You know, in those losses to some of those top teams, I mean, they gave up 100 to Houston, 104 to BYU, you know, 95 to Colorado. The defensive intensity is what has let them down in their losses. But tonight, only 30 points in the first half for UCF.
Kugel, quick release. That's long. Bowl up high for the rebound. Shovels it to Burks.
That might be the last time you get to say that all season. Ball shovels it down to Burks for the layup. 17 fella got the rebound and just dropped it off.
Long arms led to a second chance point. Odom around Pacheco. Sets up Mukeba, this time to the reverse.
It's a good finish.
What a first half for Alan Mukeba. Only 10 total points in the last 4 games. And here tonight, he's got 7 off the bench.
Yeah, the combination of him and Anthony Pick Johnson, I mean, this bench group, double-figure scoring already for the Sun Devils.
Jop got a piece of that layup attempt. Bol the rebound, and he got hit. They get Mukeba for the foul. That'll be his second. And so Bobby Hurley will get Santiago Truitt into the game. Mukeba leaves with 2 fouls. Jamichael Stillwell has 2 for UCF. He's been on the bench. It's picking up that second foul. Burks inside the 3-point line. Bol, another offensive rebound. He has been active in this first half.
Yeah, being able to wiggle and navigate his way into the center of the paint. Not sure where Masamba Jop was on that shot.
6 points, 9 rebounds for John Bol in the first half. Truitt creates some space on Bol. Good finish.
Yeah, if you can get into that body of Bol, you know, he's not the biggest guy at 7'2". Pretty light. Move him off his spot. Good job by Truitt right there.
Bol coming off a 10-rebound effort against Colorado. His season high is 11. And already 9 in the first half. They were going to need more from him tonight with Jeremy Fumena unavailable due to injury.
Absolutely. You know, he's got to play extended minutes he does not usually play.
Kugel on the final possession gets fouled with 2.8 seconds to go. Second on Pig Johnson, so Kugel steps to the line. Looking to add to his 6-point first half. You mentioned Arizona State's road woes. 4 consecutive road losses. They've given up almost 97 points per game in those losses. And they come on the road tonight against a UCF team that's top 50 in the country in scoring, field goal percentage, and 3-point percentage. And they have more than held their own in this first half.
Yeah, the best thing they've done, defended the 3-point line well. UCF tonight, 1 of 10 from 3. That'll work if you're Arizona State.
Coming off a game in which they were 63% from the 3-point line. Truitt's heave off the top of the backboard, and that takes us to halftime. Arizona State's leading scorer, Mo Odom, heated up after a slow start. 10 points, 3 assists, and he heads to the locker room with his team leading by 4, 39-35. Stay with us. More to come from halftime, including an interview with UCF softball head coach, Cindy Ball-Malone.
Every matchup is personal. Every game is a battle. And everyone is coming for your spot. Bring that pressure right to the paint. Game on the line. Clock winding down. Fans on their feet. 30 years strong, and now we shine so bright they can't help but watch. This is where every month feels like March. This is Big 12 men's basketball. This is a different league.
Back in Orlando, and here's what the scene will look like just a couple of weeks from now, and hopefully with much warmer temperatures over at the UCF softball complex as we get set to transition to the start of spring sports around the country. UCF softball just a week away from starting the 2026 season. And here at halftime, we are excited to be joined by Cindy Ball-Malone, the head coach of the UCF Knights. Coach, thanks for taking some time to hang out with us.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
5 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances for your team. It's been a remarkable, sustained run of success. How exciting a time is this for you as you get set to put the 2026 team on the field?
Love this time of year. It's just exciting to, come back from winter break. They're all working so hard, and we're ready to play somebody else now, not ourselves.
Well, let's chat about this year's team. Isabella Vega was tremendous a year ago, freshman All-American in the circle. Imagine you're really excited to have her back leading the pitching staff.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch, how good she did last year, and then the hard work she's putting in this year. And then she's got some other pitchers on that staff that are really pushing her as well. So looking forward to seeing how that hard work pays off.
Offensively, a ton of returning players, 10 returning offensive players. You've also added a couple of really talented freshmen that have a chance to bolster that lineup. What should fans expect to see from UCF softball offensively? As I mentioned, things get started next week. You've got the Black and Gold Classic next weekend. Duke and Maryland among the teams that are coming to participate in that event. How exciting is it to start the season with some power conference teams coming here to Orlando?
Yeah, we always love having the opportunity to play the best teams that we can to prepare us, and that we start off the weekend, the very first weekend with that, and then the next weekend we're playing, it feels like it's a postseason tournament in Clearwater. So we're really excited to have that same type of schedule that we've always had every year.
Yeah, you referenced the Clearwater Invitational, always one of the best tournaments on the calendar, and it comes so early. You'll play 5 games down there, 3 of them against top 15 teams. How exciting is it to have that level of competition to get a sense of where your team stands?
I think it's very exciting, especially for the fans. For us coaches, it's a lot of scouting and a lot of work. But again, we have a lot of options and a lot of depth in all of our positions, and so really looking forward to seeing what we bring out there.
There's a look at the list of teams in that event. And here is the challenging schedule. Georgia, LSU, Nebraska in between Northwestern and NC State. As you said, really exciting for fans, challenging for coaches.
Yeah, there's no wiggle room there, is there? Yeah, but again, that's what we want to do. We want to be finishing, be the last 8 teams playing in the season. And in order to do that, we've got to play against those teams as often as possible.
All those games in Clearwater airing on the ESPN family of networks. It all gets started February 5th with a game against Boston University. That one available on ESPN Plus as well. Coach, thanks so much for hanging out with us here at halftime. Really excited to see your team this coming season.
Thank you.
That's Cindy Ball-Malone, head coach of the UCF softball team. Season right around the corner. Here, Inside Edition Financial Arena, 39-35, Arizona State leading UCF. Stay with us. More from around the Big 12 when you come back.
No nights off in the Big 12. Every matchup is personal. Every game is a battle. And everyone is coming for your spot. Bring that pressure right to the paint. Game on the line. Clock winding down. Fans on their feet. 30 years strong, and now we shine so bright they can't help but watch. This is where every month feels like March. This is Big 12 men's basketball. This is a different league.
Welcome to the Big 12 studios with your halftime report. I'm your host, Spencer Linton, and we begin with the Big 12 men's basketball starting five of the week. JT Toppin of Texas Tech tips it off as your player of the week. He averaged 26.5 points and 8 rebounds in a pair of wins, including a 90-86 thriller over then number 6 Houston. With ESPN's College Game Day basketball crew in Lubbock for the first time since 2018, Toppin delivered 31 points and grabbed 12 rebounds against the Houston Cougars. JT leads the nation with 5 games of at least 30 points and 10 rebounds this season. The junior from Dallas also scored 22 points in a 92-73 win at Baylor. The reigning Big 12 Player of the Year is the only player in the nation averaging a double-double this season. Toppin is your Big 12 Player of the Week for a third time in 4 weeks. BYU's A.J. DiBonsa is your newcomer of the week, and for good reason. He delivered the highest scoring game in the Big 12 this season, dropping 43 points in a 91-78 win over Utah. The forward out of Brockton, Massachusetts, shot 63% from the field and made 4 3-pointers, producing the highest single-game scoring total for a Big 12 freshman since Trae Young 8 seasons ago. DiBonsa's 43 points broke Danny Ainge's BYU single-game freshman scoring record and the Cougars' program record for 30-plus point games by a freshman with his third. This is DiBonsa's third newcomer of the week selection. Along with Toppin and DiBonsa on the Big 12 starting five, which honors the best performances across the league, are Houston's Kingston Flemings, who scored 42 points at Texas Tech, and he joins DiBonsa as the first pair of freshmen to score 40-plus points on the same day in Big 12 conference history. Iowa State's Milan Momcilovic led the Cyclones to a pair of wins, averaging 24.5 points and 4.5 rebounds in double-digit wins over UCF and Oklahoma State. TCU's Xavier Edmonds averaged 20.5 points and 10 rebounds in 2 crucial TCU victories over Oklahoma State and at Baylor, posting a double-double in each game. That wraps up your Big 12 halftime report. As always, enjoy the second half.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long-distance love. For the far-sighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Allow yourself to tune out. To tune into nature. To tune in to the outdoors. To tune in to what matters. Discover Lake County, Florida. Learn more at discoverlakefl.com.
Have you ever wondered if there was a place where access to excellence isn't guarded by ivy, but open to all who strive for greatness? Where education leads to more than a degree, it opens a door to a career and a better life. Where imagination ignites invention and innovation, and the boundaries between science and creativity converge. That place is here, the University of Central Florida, a place for those who dare to invent the future.
Orlando is growing fast. To stand out here, you need bold ideas, local power, and a team that represents this city. From corporate partnerships to donor opportunities and direct athlete collaborations, we'll help you build a sponsorship game plan that drives impact. UCF Athletics in your business. Let's charge on together.
I wanted a college that thinks outside of the box. Scratch that. That doesn't even believe in boxes. That's not afraid to tap into the limitless potential of the human brain. And tear down the myth that great education is only for an elite few.
Being able to wear this as an analog astronaut.
Because the truth is, it's for all of us.
Look at our game summary. Each team shooting it slightly below 50%. UCF +8 on the glass. That's a category they have dominated this season. But Arizona State getting big contributions off the bench. 15 bench points. 7 for Mukeba, 8 for Big Johnson. As we welcome back courtside, Austin Lyon with BJ Taylor. We came onto the air hyping up the point guard matchup in this game, and it has lived up to expectations.
It really has. Mo Odom made some incredible shots there in the first half, and Themix Folks continues to show why he's one of the best all-around point guards in the Big 12, Austin. But the bench, golly, the bench for Arizona State. I know Mo Odom is out for exceptional, but the bench is what kept him in this ball game. And obviously, we know this is the guy they need, right? Odom has to be exceptional. He was exceptional over the weekend against Cincinnati. He can make some incredibly difficult shots from deep, but him alone is not enough. Guys like you see right there, Allen Mukeba, they have got to make plays. Anthony Pick Johnson came off the bench and made plays. As much as Mo Odom has got to be their leading scorer and do what he does, the bench has got to continue to play well in the second half for Arizona State. And then Themix Folks, he just lives in the paint, right? He buys real estate there. That's where he makes his home. That's where he makes his living. He lays his head at night. He can continually get into that painted, restricted area and either make the play for himself or make the play for his teammates. If you're Arizona State, got to close down those driving lanes against a guy like Folks.
6 points, only 1 assist for Folks. He averages 7.3 assists per game. Odom, you see, with 10 points and 3 assists. UCF starts the second half trailing by 4, trying to build off the momentum of that road win against Colorado over the weekend. And a good start as Jamichael Stillwell takes Gribovich right to the rim.
Yeah, good set right out of halftime from Johnny Dawkins to get Stillwell going, and then he follows that up with a foul in the backcourt. Just a little horn set action right here. Gonna fake the handoff to Folks. The whole set is designed to allow Stillwell to get to his strong hand and make a play at the basket.
Quick foul on Stillwell is his 3rd, and you get a shot of Kip Kissinger there, along with Brooks Wells. Jeffrey Anderson was the 3rd official as part of this crew. He hurt his foot during the first half and is not able to continue. So only 2 officials for the remainder of the game, Kip Kissinger and Brooks Wells. And they're not able to see as much of the floor. How might only having 2 officials impact the game?
Another tough shot right there from Bryce Ford. It's not going to affect that. But the difference is going to be that they have to take up so much more space and cover so much more ground. The angles they have for calling these fouls will be different, especially when at this level of basketball, you're used to working in the triangle, right? You're used to working with 3 officials. Well, now they're going back to more of that high school AAU ball style setup with only 2.
I would think, and based on what Brooks Wells told us at the half, there's a chance as you get a look at the 3 by Ford, more off-ball contact, unlikely to be seen without that 3rd official.
100%. That's less likely to be seen. Some of the out-of-bounds calls you may get on the sideline, depending on where these officials are situated and positioned on the floor, may be missed. See, like this half-court line, the official had to roll up to try to see that. That's a little different now that we have 2 officials instead of 3.
Stillwell puts it on the deck. He is bumped by Gribovich. That's the 3rd foul on Gribovich, so each team with a big. He picks up a 3rd foul here early in the first half, and though Gribovich wanted to stay in, he'll come to the sideline, and Pick Johnson will come back in as we check in with Ansley.
Coming out of the locker room, Coach Hurley said the team is in good spirits. They feel good about having the lead, but he said how they played in the first half, it's not sustainable. The biggest focus coming into this half is that the offense must continue producing. Guys?
All right, Ansley, nice touch from Riley Kugel on the baseline. Kugel now with 9. Arizona State 5 first half threes.
they like this isolation with Truitt attacking Stillwell or whoever really is defending him down there to go into that one-on-one with him.
Ford with the shot clock running down, had to let it go. Jop ends up with the rebound. Interior pass to Ford is too much on it. Taken away. Fulks accelerating and fouled by Odom.
Just a rocket in the open court. Really tough if you don't stop this basketball against Stamish Fulks. Good with both his right hand and his left hand attacking the rim, but you know, if you're Arizona State on the offensive end, you don't want to get too stagnant, right? You were able to hold UCF down there in the first half. Only 10% from the three-point line for the Knights, but that's why Coach Hurley told Ansley, look, we have got to get things going offensively and continue to keep them going because you're not going to stifle UCF the entire game offensively. You know, Bobby Hurley knows his group has got to continue to score points.
You see, he's not thrilled with Masamba Jop's decision on that last possession, not go right back up with the ball. Fulks hits 1 of 2. Interesting talking to Themis Fulks before the game. This is his 4th school. He played at South Carolina State, Louisiana, and Milwaukee. And he told me that for the most part, the coaches he's had really wanted him to be a pass-first point guard who didn't look to score. And one of the things that has really boosted his confidence playing for Johnny Dawkins is that Coach Dawkins has told him, look, we want you to be a scorer, and you have to do what's best for the team. That means there are times when you score and times when you're going to pass.
Yep, and that just opens things up for his playmaking ability, right? You know, Johnny Dawkins is a guy who's score first point guard himself, take it from a guy who played for him. He wants his guards aggressive, looking to make a play for themselves as they attack the rim. And then, when the opportunity presents itself to play make, you'll know when to make the right play.
Bryce Ford contested 3 right in front of the Arizona State bench to put the Sun Devils back in front.
When we talk about a guy that was shooting 25% from 3 in conference play, well, you wouldn't know by the way he's shooting it tonight. The junior
3 of 4 from 3. He's got 11 points.
Yeah. I give it right back to Odom being defended by John Bowl.
Bowl holding his own, but a reach-in foul as Kugel came over to help.
And the degree of difficulty on some of these shots are just tremendous. I mean, ideally, you think going under a screen at 26, 27 feet will work. Not tonight against Bryce Ford.
It's interesting, Ford, a 36% three-point shooter, but he's been better on the road. 46% from 3 on the road, as opposed to shooting at home.
You don't see that too often. Most guys like their home rims. Bryce Ford sees a road game on the schedule and his eyes just light up.
Kugel watching Ford now. He gets a screen from Mukeba. Truitt with a 3, not the strength of his game. And a loose ball foul committed by Arizona State. Burks and Ford tied up as they went into the Arizona State bench. Now Kugel mixing it up with Mukeba. And Bobby Hurley is getting animated with Riley Kugel. Johnny Dawkins comes down to try to calm the temperature. Here's where you really need a third official.
Absolutely, Austin, yeah.
Kip Kissinger doing his best to calm Bobby Hurley, which he has done for the moment.
It was just a tie ball right here between Ford and Burks. This second rip right here from Burks is what really gets it going. And then we get the extra action right there with Kugel still being up there at the top of your screen.
Yeah, Kugel comes in here and starts chirping a little bit at Ford in the Arizona State bench. And that's what really started to get Hurley upset. You see him trying to get the officials to get in there and get Kugel away from the Arizona State bench area.
And then Themis Fulks comes in and rips Kugel out of there.
And so Kip Kissinger and Brooks Wells will go to the monitor here. And based on those replays that we just showed you, hard to discern anything that would result in any kind of technical foul.
Yeah, well, and the shoving between Kugel and the bench.
Well, while the officials review, we are going to head to a break. Arizona State by 2. Tensions rising here at Edition Financial Arena. The officials, they have determined that a common foul was committed by Bryce Ford on what led to a skirmish, so it'll be UCF ball. Here's a wide view of the action. See Ford and Burks tied up, and then Kugel goes into the Arizona State bench area. That's ultimately what led to tempers flaring.
Yeah. Great job, though, between Brooks Wells and Kip Kissinger of handling that again with only 2 officials to break that up and make sure it didn't escalate into anything further. Great job from both of those 2 guys.
So the foul on Ford is his first. We were saying during break, of course something like that would happen when you don't have a third official out there.
Exactly.
So UCF ball out of the timeout. Knights trailing by 3, early moments of the second half here in Orlando. Arizona State looking for back-to-back Big 12 wins. UCF the same. Knights trying to improve to 5-3 in the league. Folks finds a cutting Devin Cambridge. Ball came right back to him and threw it up high for the rebound.
Yeah, and usually folks push that up in the air at the rim for Devin Cambridge to go catch the lob, do a chest pass right there. And like a wide receiver that just couldn't reel it in, Cambridge bobbles the ball.
Ford on the baseline, defended well by Kugel, and it's out of bounds to UCF. UCF ball after the turnover. Burks eases his way in on Big Johnson and drops it in.
Just going up and over top the smaller defender. And now with the skirmish and the stoppage of play, let's see which team can get back into a rhythm here, because it's been a stop and go start to the second half. Really nice finish right there for Big Johnson through the contact. He has been really good tonight.
Odom with the steal, and then the foul by Bowl. With the exception of about a 3-minute stretch in the first half where Arizona State hit about 4 shots in a row, it's been difficult for either team to find a sustained offensive rhythm in this game.
It really has, and some of that's been the stoppage of play. As a player, you want to get a rhythm going. Even as a coach, when you're calling plays, you want to figure out what's going on. You're going to have a foul up top called against Devin Cambridge, against Alan McCabe. But you're absolutely right, Austin. Both these teams are trying to find a rhythm offensively, but that's going to coincide and sync up with this game having a rhythm of going up and down, back and forth.
At this pace, we could see a lot of free throws in this second half. Already 7 combined fouls, and we haven't played 6 minutes.
And once you have a skirmish like that too, we both know this officiating crew has to call things a little tighter, because you don't want anything else to continue to carry over. So you're absolutely right. We're going to see a good number of fouls here in this one.
Cambridge up top. Way off on that 3. Burks the last to touch it. Cambridge starting to shoot it well the last few games. He had multiple threes in back-to-back games. First time that's happened this season. But didn't come close with that effort. And then he commits a reach-in foul. Back-to-back whistles against Cambridge, and that's now 5 team fouls against UCF.
And that's just not a good foul in the backcourt by Cambridge. 80 feet from the rim, no need for that. That's why he's going to the bench. Austin, sometimes they say the bench is the best teacher, so Devin Cambridge's going over to the bench.
Here's Jopp. Ball with his hands up, and he gets called for a foul. Kind of tell as that developed throughout the whole possession. Bol wasn't straight up. He didn't have his arms vertical.
Right. And this is a matchup that I think Arizona State needs to look to attack, all right? John Bol, you see right there, the arms are not straight up in the air behind the ears. They come down in front of his face. But Masamba Jopp, again, a guy that can be effective inside. Only 4 points in this ball game, 3 rebounds. This is a guy Arizona State's got to get going. He doesn't have to go for 20, but they do need him up in double figures.
And so now UCF's depth is really being tested here. Remember, they are without Jeremy Fumena, who is their primary backup in the front court. You've got Bol, Stillwell, and Cambridge, all with 3 fouls. And Johnny Dawkins with no choice but to bring back Stillwell. So he is on the floor with 3.
And even primary backup is going to get another foul called here down low. You look at Jeremy Fumena right there. Primary backup, yes, but really, Austin, they're both kind of playing the same amount of minutes, right? It's just that John Bol gets the nod to start, so both Bol and Fumena really man the paint in a sort of equal way. So without him, you have to lean on Michael Stillwell now as your center, and he's only about 6'8", not the biggest guy.
You're talking about an Arizona State team that goes 6'11", 6'11", 7'1" in the front court.
Yeah, good move right here from Fulks. Couldn't convert. But look for Arizona State to go inside to Truitt and go inside to Masamba Jopp. If it isn't a feed, those two need to get on the offensive glass right now. This is the time, if you're Truitt and Masamba Jopp, offensive rebounding and putbacks. He's being defended by Fulks inside. You got to go to him. Bobby Hurley was jumping up and down, saying throw it inside.
Shot clock under 5. Odom has to hoist it off the front rim. Arizona State unable to find the mismatch. Burks working on Grimovich. Kugel the kick to Pacheco. He drops in a 3. Tied at 47 after the first bucket of the night for Carmelo Pacheco. A foul against UCF. That'll go on Kugel. It's his 3rd.
Yeah, and this just isn't the guy Arizona State wants to leave open. I'm sure you have the stat, Austin. A ridiculous number of his overall field goal attempts are 3-point shots. It's something like 90% of them, right?
74 of 79 this year are 3.
That's almost impossible to do. I mean, today, 5 shots for a whole season that aren't 3-pointers.
So after that foul on Kugel, it's a 1-and-1 for Arizona State. Mukeba unable to take advantage, but the Sun Devils in the bonus for the final 13 minutes.
And that's huge, especially with UCF not having the traditional size inside. Feed the post, play through the post, play in the paint.
Burks got a good look. Burks pokes it away from Jop. It'll stay with Arizona State.
And, also, Austin, the fact that, we're only down to our 2 officials, Brooke Wells and Kip Kissinger, they're almost having to overcompensate a little bit, right? Because they're moving around more, they're trying to get in position. And the biggest thing they don't want is to just let the game kind of get out of hand and not be making enough calls. So I think in the second half, we've almost seen them, being very aggressive to make calls.
Jop gets a step on Burks, drops it off. Mukeba with the hammer. Mukeba's been big off the bench for Arizona State. Sun Devils recapture the lead. Pacheco got bumped by Noah Mayusin. That'll take us to a timeout. 11:50 remaining in the game. 2 teams fighting hard for a conference win, separated by just 2 points. Arizona State by 2 with under 12 minutes to go here in the second half in Orlando. And the Sun Devils on the road, shooting it well from three-point range.
Really are. And, when we spoke to the staff before the game, we said, you got to make shots from the outside, right? Three-point land is where they have had success in their wins, and they've got it from people outside of Mo Oldham tonight, right? Bryce Ford has got it going from deep. Anthony Pig Johnson has made some triples, so it really has been a collective effort from deep for the Sun Devils, and their defense has done just enough to hold up in this one. The Knights under 50% from the field and still only 15% from the three-point line. Those numbers will work for you if you're Arizona State.
Odom with 10. You see Ford on the bench with 11. Ford, a guy who missed 4 games with a hip injury, and it is really a staggering difference. The three-point percentage and offensive production when he has been out there is significantly better than in the 4 games that he missed.
Allow Noah Mausen to initiate this offense. This is usually a special play, but the Knights are going into a zone look instead.
UCF used this a lot against Colorado on Saturday. They don't get to Gribovich, who cans a 3 from the wing.
And again, at 6'11", it may seem weird to see him taking those shots, but he makes those kind of looks from deep. A 41% three-point shooter in conference play.
The majority of his looks are from 3. Pacheco unable to answer. Stillwell grabbed as he pursued the rebound.
And this is really where he's comfortable at, out on the perimeter, right? Really nice drive, kick, penetrate from Odom. And when Andrea Gribovich can get his feet set, he is money.
That foul was on Odom. It's his 3rd. So Odom, Johnson, and Gribovich all with 3 for Arizona State. Pacheco unable to hit the 3. UCF has 4 players with 3 fouls. Bowl, Cambridge, Stillwell, and Kugel. Pacheco closely watching Ford in the corner, and Ford's got to call a timeout. That'll take us to a break in the action. 5-point lead for Arizona State, 52-47 nearing the midway point of the second half. trouble for UCF here in the second half. We see 4 players, including 3 in the front court with 3 fouls. And for Arizona State, leading scorer Mo Odom just picked up his 3rd. Second leading scorer Pick Johnson has 3. And Andrea Grubovich also has 3 fouls. Something to monitor as we head down the stretch here. Baseline out of bounds. Mukeba is fouled by Stillwell. That'll be his 4th. That's the 2nd time we've seen them go to Mukeba in a baseline out of bounds situation.
It really haven't. Got to give a lot of credit to Bobby Hurley, recognizing that Stillwell has those 4 fouls. You get an ISO set for Mukeba to go downhill against JaMychal Stillwell. That's just really good coaching from Bobby Hurley.
Stillwell upset as he leaves after picking up his 4th. Devin Cambridge back on for UCF.
I mean, right out of bounds under, just an ISO one-on-one with Stillwell. And Stillwell is always a handsy, aggressive defender, just couldn't keep his body off.
That's twice Mukeba's missed the front end of a 1-and-1.
But it's still kind of a win, right, for Arizona State, because you picked up the foul. Obviously, you want to convert, but you picked up the Stillwell foul.
Cambridge ran into Bowl. That altered that shot. Folks finds him inside. Jump with a block. Ball ends up with Kugel. A circus act inside by Riley Kugel to get that one to go.
Again, seeing this 2-3 look from UCF, it may look like a 1-3-1, but careless pass.
The length of Burks leads to a transition dunk, and it's back to a 1-point game.
And so with Anthony Pick Johnson on the bench and Mo Odom on the bench, Mayusin's being asked to handle the point guard duties. And big shot from Grubovich.
Huge 3. Grubovich, when his team desperately needed it, comes through with his 2nd 3.
It's a huge shot.
Cambridge forces his way inside, defended well by Mukeba. And Arizona State will look to settle things down.
Just a momentum stopper right there from Andrea Grubovich, knocking down that triple.
Big minutes here without the 2 primary ball handlers on the floor. Cambridge fouls Mayusin, shooting a 3.
Just a switch. You got Cambridge, you got Mayusin, and just doesn't allow Mayusin the airspace to land, gets up underneath him. You know, Noah Mayusin today, scoreless on the game. It's another poor foul by a player in this UCF front court.
That's the 4th on Cambridge, and not at all the type of play you expect to see from a guy who's playing his 161st college basketball game.
Yeah, but he has a relationship with Arizona State. He's been there before, played there in the past. I believe he went to the NCAA tournament with that group back in
2023?
Yeah, back in 22-23. So sometimes, the extra feelings involved, and as a player, you're not always as focused and engaged as you need to be. And I think we've seen a little bit of that from Devin Cambridge tonight.
Mayusin hits all 3. Arizona State surging. This is their largest lead of the night. Folks rejected by Jop, and he saves it on the baseline. Burks comes out of there with it. Bounce pass Folks. The layup doesn't go. A lot of the plays that UCF has been making throughout the season, they have been unable to execute here in the second half.
A real opportunity right here for Arizona State to push this lead to double figures.
Odom, a clean look at a 3, and he buries it. 10th 3 of the night for Arizona State. Johnny Dawkins wanted a timeout, didn't get it. Kugel draws a foul with 8:16 to go.
Just had a real feeling that Mo Odom up top was going to go for that triple. push this lead to double figures. It's a big shot. We've seen 2 big threes. I mean, his 3 right there, and then the one Gribovich made when it was a 1-point game. That was a huge shot. I mean, that stifled a lot of UCF's momentum.
Yeah, if Arizona State wins this game, you'll look back on that Gribovich 3 as a huge moment. When UCF had momentum, they cut it to 1.
Yep.
And Gribovich knocked it down from the right wing. Kugel hits both. So it's an 8-point margin with just more than 8 minutes to go. And his Arizona State team, which shoots 34.5% from 3, right in the middle of Division I, is 5 of 6 in this second half.
They shot the ball tremendously here today.
Odom is fouled. That'll put him on the line. The foul's on Kugel. That's his 4th. So 4 fouls on Stillwell, Kugel, and Cambridge for UCF.
There's still 8 minutes to go in this ball game, Austin. Still 8 minutes to go.
And because it's the 10th team foul, Arizona State, which has missed a couple front ends of 1-and-1s, is guaranteed 2 shots the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I'll ask you, Austin, how many of these fouls would you say have been good fouls or fouls that Arizona State really drew against UCF? We've seen reaches, we've seen the backcourt play, you know, where it's just unnecessary. I mean, this right here, Mo Odom's coming across half court. If UCF, what's going on here, you know? That's just not a good play from Kugel in the backcourt. We saw the foul from Cambridge up top on the Mayusin 3. You know, these fouls have just been really more so not the most discipline of basketball that you usually see from a Johnny Dawkins group.
1 of 2 for Odom. Arizona State 5 of 6 from 3 in this half, but 4 of 9 at the free throw line. Burks on the baseline. Jop challenged that on the way up.
Can protect the rim with the best of them. I'm telling you, I mean, this guy will meet you up top like you live on the top floor.
Since the start of Big 12 play, he has become a much larger defensive presence. And there he shows you the offensive skill set. Spinning into the jumper. Timeout UCF. Arizona State with its largest lead of the night.
And Masamba Jop, one of the best shot blockers in the Big 12, doing what he does, protecting the painted area. And then Austin, sometimes it's just better to be lucky than good.
UCF trailing by 11 with 7.5 minutes to go. Knights back at home this weekend for a game against 11th-ranked Texas Tech. Noon tip here from Edition Financial Arena. And tonight's game is so important because of the upcoming stretch for UCF. Texas Tech on Saturday, at Houston next Wednesday, and then at Cincinnati. Back-to-back road games. Out of the timeout, Riley Kugel unable to hit the three. UCF in desperate need of an offensive surge. Bounce pass underneath, Stillwell. Good find by Chris Johnson.
You're absolutely right, Austin. I mean, you got two teams in both Texas Tech and Houston who could be Final Four groups. Played an incredible game over the weekend against each other. Have split their season series 1-1. So, yeah, if you're the Knights, this is one of those games that you really want to put in the win column before you go against a couple top 10 teams.
Big Johnson back out there, and a late call against Themis Folks. Certainly contact. And so Pick Johnson, who's been saddled with foul trouble, will head to the line.
And he's been really good tonight. I mean, he has been active without the ball. He's made shots from the outside. He's been efficient. And the best thing Arizona State has done tonight, only 8 turnovers. They have taken care of the basketball. That'll make Bobby Hurley very happy, only 8 turnovers.
They average 12 per game. Turnovers have been an issue in some of their Big 12 losses.
Yeah.
One more for Johnson, who's in double figures with 11. It's been a double-digit scoring machine off the Arizona State bench. Back to an 11-point game, under 7 minutes to go. Kugel around Mayusin, inside Stillwell, score it plus the foul.
Stillwell Kugel chemistry starting to come to life here. See, as Sambe Diop is going to rotate over, no one has his back as he comes to double team Kugel down there on the baseline. The 3 defenders on the backside got to rotate over, but a really nice find from Stillwell, from Kugel to Stillwell.
That's the first foul on Diop. It really is astonishing.
It is.
How well he protects the rim without fouling. He only has 37 fouls the entire season.
Oh, what a floater.
Odom at the other end breaks the press. Arizona State not allowing UCF to build any momentum. They've answered each of the last 2 scores. Burke's bounce pass stolen away by Johnson. 4-on-2. Odom puts it on the deck. The lob for Diop, unable to finish, but a foul.
Saw the floater earlier from Odom when he got in the lane. This time, able to dump it down to Masamba Diop. He's going to get 2 free throws out of it, but I promise you, the big fella wants to convert this nice dump down, dump up top. And big fella got to finish that for the N1. But, you know, it just feels, Austin, like UCF just can't get on the right foot, you know? Arizona State, give them a lot of credit, but it has just been a less than sharp performance, would you say? Just not the cleanest of games you've seen this Knights team play.
I would agree, and in no way has UCF been able to affect Arizona State when the Sun Devils have the ball.
Yeah.
Johnson tees up a 3. Desperately needed bucket for UCF. Back to a single-digit margin with under 6 minutes to go. 3-on-1, Johnson, bounce pass, Truitt, momentary bobble, but he regathers and lays it in.
Yeah. And that's how you break a press. You don't break a press to set up your offense, you break a press to score. Really nice awareness from Arizona State.
Stillwell, too strong off the glass, Kugel the rebound. Folks crosses over on Truitt. Kugel sidesteps and hits a three. Back-to-back triples for UCF after they've struggled from deep all night.
Well, that's the one thing for Arizona State you don't want to see happen. You don't want to allow this UCF group to get it going from behind the three-point line, because Kugel Burks can really get it going.
Arizona State has made 7 shots in a row. Odom off his foot, able to regather with under 10 on the shot clock. This feels like a big moment.
Huge possession right here.
Odom, step back three. Kugel comes away with it. UCF looking to push. It's Folks, the kick. Johnson, huge three from the corner to make it a 5-point game. Timeout, Arizona State. Well, UCF 2 for 17 from three-point range, but they've hit 3 in a row. Chris Johnson from the left corner, and then Riley Kugel. And most recently, Johnson again from the right corner. Knights trying to fight back here in Orlando. .6-0 run by UCF has made the margin 5, 72-67 with 4.5 minutes to go. And this final 4:28 could determine a lot about the trajectory of these two teams down the stretch this season. Arizona State trying to win back-to-back games and get to 3-5 in the league. UCF looking to continue its momentum, get their 16th win of the year with a very challenging schedule coming up. Chris Johnson, great denial on Odom. They finally get it to him with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Big Johnson to the crossover. And a travel is called. Arizona State turns it over.
Possession that really never lifted off for Arizona State. The interesting thing is, if Pig Johnson just gets that ball up on the rim, it really looked like Masamba Diop was in position to garner the offensive rebound.
Chance to make it a one-possession game. Folk spins, elevates, and gets a friendly bounce.
Just really good in the biggest moments as Themis Fulks. Got ourselves a game, Austin.
Under 4 to go. UCF has scored the last 8. Ford, can he answer? Off the back rim, Johnson comes away with it.
And man, that shot was right on the line from our angle, Austin. I mean, just caught the back rim.
Burks challenging Mukeba. No space. Kugel gets a step. A little bit strong, but a foul call. That's on Pig Johnson. It's his 4th. The 2 free throws for Riley Kugel, UCF's leading scorer, has 16 tonight. Knights trailed in this game 70-58 with 6:09 remaining. In the last 3 minutes, they've gone on an 11-2 run. We talked about the impact this game could have if UCF comes back and wins. A huge lift mentally going into a tough stretch, and this would be a crushing loss for Arizona State.
No question. With the lead that they had, you know, in 7 minutes to go in this game, it's always tough winning on the road, but when you have a double-figure lead like they did, you look to close those bad boys out. But still, a lot of time with 3 minutes on the clock. A lot can happen, Austin. Arizona State, you got to get to look Mo Odom back involved in the action.
Odom off the handoff from Diop.
The pass.
Underneath. Couldn't finish. And here comes Fulks. He's fouled by Odom. There'll be free throws for UCF, and it's Odom's 4th foul. Well, we've seen UCF commit some absent-minded fouls. Yeah. There's one from Mo Odom.
Yeah, that may be the worst foul of the game. Diop was unable to convert inside, couldn't get the touch, and then right here, I know he's trying to commit a take foul. He doesn't want to allow UCF to get out and run. But one, he's too valuable in this situation to give up a foul like that. Number 2, even though UCF had numbers, it wasn't a guarantee they were going to score.
Fulks 77% at the line this year. 4 of 5 tonight. He hits both, and we're tied at 72. An 11-0 run by UCF. They've held Arizona State scoreless for more than 3 minutes. The Sun Devils have looked unflappable offensively all night. The UCF has ratcheted up their defensive intensity. Odom, open 3. Not this time. Fulks comes away with it. Fulks around Diop. Stillwell the tip. Out of bounds to Arizona State.
A really good look for Fulks inside. Just a little too much English on that flip off the rim.
UCF is going to get Carmelo Pacheco in for Chris Johnson.
And you know,
Odom trapped, out of it to Truitt.
If you're Arizona State in this situation, you're struggling to score. You want to drive the basketball because any foul, you go to the free throw line. So it doesn't even have to be a shooting foul. Any common foul, you get to the free throw line.
Nearly 4 minutes without a point for Arizona State. Odom in between a double underneath. Truitt reverse layup with the shot clock under 5. What a find by Odom.
Nice find, nice cut.
Under 90 seconds to go. Kugel hesitates, challenges Jop. Good defense by Jop. Ball is loose underneath. Kugel comes out of there with it. Burks finds Pacheco. UCF leads on the Carmelo Pacheco 3. Under a minute remaining. First lead for UCF since the 6-minute mark of the first half. And Arizona State will have a chance to get it back at the line after Fulks commits the foul.
And this is why you make the sub and put your sharpshooter in the game. For shots like these, wide open in the corner, Carmelo Pacheco doing what he does. And then on the other end, just a reach-in foul once again, like we've seen one too many times tonight from UCF. And Mo Odom with a chance to put his Sun Devils back in front. Right now, Themis Fulks is standing at the Arizona State free throw line, and he will. Kip Kissinger's letting him know, sir, you do have to evacuate the free throw line.
So Odom steps to the line, 83%. He's 3 for 4 tonight. And Arizona State well known for the curtain of distraction when opponents are shooting free throws in the second half. Odom shooting into that sea of palm fronds that are being waved feverishly by UCF students. He hits both. Arizona State surges back in front. Kugel attacking Mayusin. Creates some space. He'll kick. Burks with a 3. Oh, Jordan Burks with a massive shot. UCF struggled from 3 all night. They've caught fire here in the closing minutes. And it's a 2-point UCF lead with 25.6 to go.
It's been big shot after big shot for the Knights guards. First it was Pacheco, this time Jordan Burks with the biggest shot of the game, cashing in from deep.
UCF was 2 for 16 from 3 midway through the second half. Since that point, they've hit 5 of 6. And they've needed every one of them here late.
Every single one. I mean, you talk about the big shot, a guy like Carmelo Pacheco coming off the bench, staying ready, and then Jordan Burks. We saw him make a big shot like that against Kansas earlier in the season in this same building to pretty much put that game away. He may have just done the same thing again here tonight.
UCF by 2, Arizona State with possession, and in the double bonus, you'd have to expect them to go to Odom here.
Got to expect them to go to Odom, and like we mentioned earlier, if you are Arizona State, you do not have to necessarily score the basketball or draw a shooting foul. Just be aggressive, because any common foul, you're going to the free throw line. So if you go to the rim or you're attacking, be strong with the basketball. That's the number one thing. If you're Masamba Diop inside, don't get it all dipsy-dooey. Go up strong off 2 feet and play through any contact, because you're going to the free throw line.
Well, Arizona State traditionally so good under Bobby Hurley in one-possession games, and that's what we've got here in the closing seconds. Kugel can't find, Ford can't find any space against Kugel. Here's Odom. Off the screen from Jop. UCF double teams in. Burks with the deflection and a steal. Fulks is fouled. 6.2 remaining. was on Odom, and he is fouled out of the game. So if Folks hits less than 2 here, Arizona State will be without its leading scorer and best three-point shooter for the final possession.
Which is a fully engaged defensive possession right there for UCF from start to finish. They switched, they trapped, ultimately able to force the errant pass by Mo Odom.
Got eerily quiet in here just as Folks was getting ready to shoot. And now make or miss, it'll be a one-possession game.
See, Arizona State still has an opportunity to push. No timeout, so they got to go the other way.
Folks hits the second. 3-point game, 6.2. Mayusin, here's Ford. He'll have a chance to tie it. Ford unable to hit, and UCF comes from behind to stun Arizona State. The Knights outscore the Sun Devils 21-6 in the final 6:09. And we talked about how the final 4.5 minutes of this game could define what's ahead for both of these teams. That is a massive, massive win for UCF.
Extremely resilient effort right there from the Knights. I mean, to come back from being down double figures with less than 8 minutes to go in this ball game, UCF showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of determination, played like an NCAA tournament team in those final 8 minutes.
So many things working against this UCF team. Foul trouble, poor shooting all night, but they find a way. They came alive offensively down the stretch. One of the guys who led them to victory, Themis Folks, is standing by with Ansley.
Themis, as you embrace the crowd, this one felt gritty. What was most important to getting it done?
Hey, man, we just stayed together. You know, we battled a lot of adversity this season, and it was a lot of adversity this game. Shots weren't falling like it usually is, but we figured out a way. Good teams find a way to win, and I think we're on pace to be a really good team.
Coach Dawkins preaches to you guys, you have to earn everything. You played until the final whistle. How did you guys earn this one?
Like I said, we just stayed together. We know every game in the Big 12 is going to be a tough game. We just got to stay together, stay the course, and just keep believing.
You mentioned this conference, that's what makes it exciting. Any given day, it's anyone's game. How do you continue to keep that mindset as you keep going forward?
Just stay humble, you know, don't get too high, don't get too low. You know, Arizona State, they came in with the right mindset, you know. I heard the press conference, they're trying to get a little win streak going. Not tonight, though. Not tonight. Tonight's our night.
And as you take one look into the crowd, seeing all of these people here for you, what does this moment mean?
Man, it means the world, man. Charge on, man. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it, hey, let's keep competing, and let's see where we can take this.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, appreciate you. Charge on.
Guys.
All right, Ansley, thank you very much. We have been joined courtside by UCF coach Johnny Dawkins. Coach, you were down by 12 with 6 minutes to go, and seemingly everything was working against you with foul trouble. Hadn't been able to find the range from 3 all night. What changed in the final 6 minutes?
Well, I give our guys a lot of credit. You know, they've had big hearts. They've shown it all season long. They just keep fighting, and they found the rhythm, found an opportunity to make plays down the stretch, and you know, we beat a very good basketball team. I've watched them play a lot, of course, and they're very skilled, very talented, and I'm just proud of our guys' effort for 40 minutes.
The resiliency of this group, Coach. I know this is something you preach day in and day out, is the mental toughness it takes to win at a high level. And if you want to be a tournament team, it's not easy to do. Talk about the resiliency this group is showing you day in and day out.
They've shown it, like I said, throughout the season. We started during the summer, just watching how these guys were competing, and it's carried over into the season. They've really worked hard. They're a very close group. You know, they're together. They're playing for, you know, the name on the front of the jersey, and that's what you want to see happen with good tap basketball teams, is play for the name on the front of the jersey. And I'm just proud of these guys for continuing to fight the way they did tonight and giving us a chance to win.
And through the wins and the losses, Coach, how have you been able to keep this group focused on one game at a time? Because you know in conference play, one game, every game is a battle.
No, absolutely. It's going to be that way every night, and you have to enjoy that. As a competitor, you want that. And I have a lot of guys in the locker room that want to be in those type of situations. That's why they chose to come here and play in the Big 12. So definitely excited about their mindset with regards to that, and just continuing to try to help these guys get better on a daily basis because I think we still have our best basketball ahead of us. We just have to keep working.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you.
One of the more thrilling victories in Johnny Dawkins' tenure as UCF comes from 12 down with 6 minutes to go to beat Arizona State 79-76. The Knights catch fire from three-point range and get the defensive stops when they needed to record a huge win. Well, fun night here in Orlando. Hard-fought Big 12 conference game. And a close win for UCF. For BJ Taylor, Ansley Topchick, and our entire terrific Big 12 on ESPN Plus crew, Austin Lyon saying so long from Orlando. Final score, UCF 79, Arizona State 76. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.